Another management that is needed to properly ripen peaches is to do crop load thinning. And so that's really difficult for most people. We don't have peaches every year due to freeze sometimes. So when we do have a year that we have lots of peaches, it's hard to remove some of those. But removing peaches is going to make larger peaches. It's going to protect our limbs from breaking, and it's going to help with the sizing and the ripening process of those fruit that are left on the tree. A peach tree can produce maybe 200 or 300 times the amount of fruit that it can actually successfully ripen. So if you take a look at this one limb right here, I don't know how many there are. Maybe there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 in this 18-inch shoot. And you can see some of them are smaller. They may have flowered a little bit later. They may not have pollinated properly. But you can see this one still has the petals. It's at what we call shuck split. But here's one that is very, very tiny. This one probably didn't pollinate properly. And then you can see some of them have a little bit of the curculio, or it could even be a lygus bug. They cause stings on the fruit as well. That can cause some blemishes and what we call cat facing on peaches. But what we want to have ideally on this branch, we want to separate them with about 4 to 6 inches between each peach. So we're going to remove most of these. If we didn't remove any of these, this tree may go ahead and drop a lot of them anyway. But you can see it could eventually, break this limb. And if this entire tree was like that, the entire branch, the whole scaffold branch can split off. And a lot of the time they'll split all the way down to the trunk. So it can really damage the tree. Now this tree has been pruned down. We prune this one in the spring. We keep it at a height where we can reach most all of the branches on this tree. So that's really important. It's nice and open, so it has lots of good sunlight on the fruit. But we really need to go ahead and remove some of these peaches. So what I would do firstly is sometimes we have what they're called doubles, and that's usually when we're in when they're in a drought condition and the peaches don't form properly. It may have been drouthy last year and cause what we call doubles, but it's kind of like a twin peach. So take those off first, and then anything that you see like this damage on it, I would go ahead and just pick those off. It's kind of a process of elimination. So I would take some of these smaller ones off first, and then I would come back and carefully look. If you have one peach tree, you can spend a little bit of time looking at these, but it just depends on how much time you want to spend. But in this range right here, we have 3. This one has a little bit of a sting right there, I can see. I'm going to go ahead and remove that one. So we've got maybe 4 or 5 inches in between these 2 peaches. So that would be adequate spacing. Now if we look down here, we're going to have way too many. And most of these are showing injury due to the curculio. So I'm going to pull most of these off. It's going to be too much weight for this one little shoot. And that one was very loose, so it was probably getting ready to drop anyway. This one has several stings. I'm going to go ahead and pull it. That one looks fairly nice. So I'm going to take off maybe, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go ahead and take off, and just leave 3 on that one shoot. And if you don't have a lot of peaches overall on your tree, but you just have one area that's localized with a lot of fruit, you may leave just a few more. But still, you don't want to have too many on those branches. 4 to 6 inches between peaches is what you want to shoot for. It's important to go ahead and thin your fruit when they're about quarter size, but at least about 4 weeks before that pit starts to harden to get the effects to benefit those fruits and the tree itself. Fruit thinning is not only important on peaches, but also things like nectarines and on apples and pears sometimes. And so on apples, usually you'll have a cluster of apples, and you'll want to leave the king bloom apple, and it's usually the biggest and the best apple. We might take a look at an apple in just a little bit, see if we can find some that may be overcrowded. But fruit thinning is very important to get nice, juicy peaches. If we left all of these on here, we would end up with little hard, like little rocks. They wouldn't ripen properly. They may fall off and we may break the limb. So fruit thinning is very important. For more information, you can check out a fact sheet on planting and early care of peach orchards.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.